If you want to be successful in life, you must think of yourself first. Let me explain. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a few things that we're going to go over as we're on this journey with one another that are truly impactful. That if I had only like one sheet of paper and I had to write down the things that you should be doing, and this is going to be one of them. So please pay close attention to this. When you are dealing with income, when you're dealing with building generational wealth, you must think of yourself first, but not in the way that you're thinking or how you're hearing me say it. Okay. I want to get that visceral emotional charge out of you so that this will help you sink in. There is a concept that the wealthy have that they live by, which is extremely hard for the most common individual to follow. And that is you must pay yourself first. Okay. And now this is what I mean by that. Let's say you are a W-2 employee. And so you've taken this class, you've decided to go and get a good job. Maybe you went to college, maybe you didn't, who knows? And you've decided and you've taken a job and you are now making $60,000 a year, the number that we use through this entire course. For the easy sake of things, that means that you make $5,000 a month. Okay. Now, most people, the 99% of people, right, take the $5,000 and they go pay their bills with it. Okay. So, electric bill, car note, insurance. And when they get that check of $5,000 every single month or $2,500 or 2 weeks, however you get paid, they're thinking, I got $2,500 to make work. Okay. Now, if you do that, I can guarantee you will end up at 65 with $0 in your name and you will struggle your entire life. It is just that simple. Okay. The financially savvy people, okay, will go in and they'll say, okay, well, I get this. I got to pay myself first. So the $5,000, I'm going to ensure that I pay 10% of my income goes directly over to the traditional, IRA or to the 401k, whatever it is, right? To get the match. We talked about that earlier. So of the $5,000, so you're making $60,000 a year, you get $5,000 a month, let's say take home. And so if you're going to save, 10%, you're going to take $500. And I want you guys to actually write this down, $500. And you're going to put that into your traditional IRA or some type of retirement account. And then they'll look at it and they'll go, okay, so I have $4,500 that I can put or that I can then use to go to, spend or, go pay the bills and things like that. Absolutely not. Because in one way, what are you what are you trying to build to, right? If you're trying to just go and be like, well, you know what, I'm going to be, I just like I'm gonna put a little retirement, Dave Ramsey method. I'm gonna take 10%, put in retirement. I'll have that at 65. I'll downgrade my life. I'll go live in a condo at a beach, never do anything, never travel, drive that Toyota Corolla for 3,000 miles or whatever. That's how you. Okay, the financially savvy people are gonna throw that 10% in. The wealthy people are completely opposite than that. The wealthy people, and what I would be doing if I was like, if my children, okay, came to me and they said, Daddy, Mommy, I want to move out and I got a good job, but how should I structure my finances to ensure that I'm successful? What I would say to them is like, listen, you're making $5,000 a month. You have to put at least 10%, I would say 20% into your account. Now, however, It is not 10% that you need to put into your account, right? Because we've been this far in the course. Do we just take a dollar amount and we go, you know what? I'm just going to throw it in the account and 10% sounds like a good number. Like, where does 10% come from? Where do the CFPs, the certified financial planners, the accountants, these gurus online, where do they come up with 10% or 20%? And then there's like the 70-30-30 rule, the 70-20-30. Like, where does that come up with? It's absolute nonsense, right? We come up with numbers because we're going to reverse engineer what we need to do. So you're going to take your FIRE number, how much money that you need to live off of. Then you're going to take that number and you're going to determine if you're going to be doing the Grant Cardone cash flow model or you're going to be doing the Dave Ramsey model. Let's say you're going to just do the Dave Ramsey model for sake, right? You're then going to say, okay, if I need to have $5,000 in coming in, then I need to have at least, say, $1 million saved in my account based on the 4% rule, based on the Social Security. Again, this is like videos 10 or 15 or whatever it is. And so I know that I need $1 million in order to get to $1 million based on the calculation of 8% return year over year, based on the fact that I'm 25 and I'm going to then save until I'm 65. So for 40 years, I need to save X amount of dollars each month to get to that number. You notice when I was doing that calculation, never did I say how much did I make. If I'm saying to myself, my FIRE number is $60,000 a year, I don't need $1 million. I also need more than 30,000. Well, what if the 10% that you have equals $1 million, equals 10 million later, or equals 30,000? You have no idea. It's a completely arbitrary and stupid number. So don't do it. Get your FIRE number. Figure out what much money you need to have or coming in to hit that FIRE number, whether it be in assets or whether it be the Dave Ramsey, the big squirrel, like bunch of money in an account taking the 4% rule number. Figure out what that is. So a rich person would say, well, what do you want your retirement to look like? Well, I want my retirement to look like I want to have $10 million. Okay, well, if you want to have $10 million, you need five $100 we know for the next 35 years at 8% return. It was something like that to get to $1 million. So if you want more than that, if you want $5 million, then you're going to have to do, 5 times the amount of that. If you want $10 million, then you're going to need to do 10 times the amount of that. So you said you want $10 million. So instead of $500 a month, you need to put in $5,000 a month. And so paying yourself first is going, this is the outcome that I want to go get. This is the outcome I'm going to go get. I'm making $5,000 a month and I have $5,000 that I need to put away for my retirement. Unquestionable. The first person I pay is me. First person. 5,000 comes in, 5,000 goes out. How much money do I have left over for rent, for utilities, for food, for a car? The answer to that is obviously zero, right? And so if my child came to me and said, hey, I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to do a job. It's going to be $5,000 a month. And, and I'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah. So what did you want your retirement to look like? What are you thinking about? And they're like, oh, I need to have at least $10 million because based on the 4% rule, I'm going to be taking out I'm going to take out, 400,000. And so, that seems like a pretty comfortable number given the fact of inflation and what the prices might be. And like, that feels pretty good. I need 10 million, right? Okay. And so how much money do you need to get to 10 million by the 8 to 10% return if you do the next 45 days? If you invest for the next 45 years, an 8% return on investment, and they would say, I need $5,000. I'm like, good. Then take your $5,000 and put it in your account. Well, Dad, I don't have any money then for anything else. You're correct. Go get a job. That's it. Now, guys, I'm intentionally being extreme on that, right? But that's the way it works, right? Which is two things. One, this is why we don't use the Dave Ramsey method, because I don't want to save $5,000 a month forever to then just have enough to retire on, or $500 a month and not have a whole lot to just retire on. It's a long way to go. Now, if I said to him, hey, you want 10,000, you want $400,000 a year, then what I would say to him is like, okay, well, how are you thinking about getting, or what assets are you going to purchase that ensures that you're going to make $400,000 a year ongoing? And they might say, you know what? I'm going to, I expect to, buy 4 businesses. And then I'd be like, okay, great. What kind of business are you going to buy? I'm going to buy 4 laundry mats. Okay. And those laundry mats are making 100,000. Is that realistic? Is that what how laundry mats make? Yep. I've looked at it. Laundry mats make between 100 and 150. So I figured if I get 4 of them, I'm going to be able to do that. Okay, great. And then I would say, how exactly then are like, so you're going to buy all at the one time, you're going to buy them over the course of a period of time. You just have to get these by the time you're 65, right? Yep. Okay. So you need to buy one every 10 years, right? Yes. Okay. And so how much money do you need to save for the first one? 100 grand. Okay. So in 10 years, how much money do you need to save per month to make sure that you have $100,000 after 10 years? Well, that would be, I need to save $10,000 a year. So, divided by 12, I guess that's somewhere around, was that like $800, like $800 a month, right? So $800 times 12, it's going to be basically like $10,000. So if I can just do like $800 a month, and then at the end of the year I'll have 10,000. If I do that for 10 years, I'll have 100,000. I can buy my first laundromat, and then I'll buy 2, 3, 4. Then I'll have 4 laundromats, and those 4 laundromats are going to produce me $100,000, and I'll have the 400 grand that I'm going to live on later on in retirement. Great. So how much do you need to spend or save each month? $800. Great. Perfect. So you made 5, save 8, spend the rest. Okay. But in addition to that, are the laundromats, what if they're not busy all the time? You need a rainy day fund. What if you have kids? Are they going to go to school? Whatever. Do you need to save some extra? So you'd break down that. So what wealthy people do is they take the income that they have, all the income that they have, right, that's coming in. Then they allocate the dollar amount that they need into retirement, into their future themselves, whatever dollar that amount be, whether it be 10%, 20% of their check, it doesn't matter. It's the dollar amount, not the percentage. They pay themselves first. Then they ensure that they have a rainy day fund in case something medical emergency happens, in case the car breaks down. They plan savings for things like a new car in the future, down payment on a house, whatever. Then after they've paid the future themselves, whether it be a retirement account or saving to buy a business or saving to buy a house, then they put the money in savings to maybe buy an actual house that they live in, or a car, or to save for college for their children, or for a wedding, or for whatever it is. Then, so next, take out, take out, take out, take out. Then they look at what's left over. And only of that is what's left over is what can actually they spend. Paying yourself first. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do it any different than that, you'll never have dollars. Because what happens is you'll get 5,000 and then you'll be like, well, I have 5,000, so I can do 2,000 in rent. So then I got 3 grand left over. And you're like, well, then I get a car and it's a little bit more than I want to, but like, whatever, I guess I got it. And then so now your car payment is 800, whatever. So now you're $2,800 in on your $5,000. And then you're like, and then, I got to get a cell phone, I got insurance. And then, I'm going out a little bit. And then, I just, and you'll end up, you have no money. Being wealthy isn't about getting money and then spending it, and then what's left over, you give it to yourself. It's about making money, paying yourself first, ensuring your retirement, then with everything that's left, doing what you need to do. If you don't have enough money to do the things you need to do after you've paid yourself first, you need to go get a more job. You need to get a different job. You need to get a higher pay. You need to be less frugal, spend less money, whatever it is. Okay? That's the difference. It's upside down. You, in your retirement, in your future, if you treat them as coming last, they will be last, and it will be the last thing that you get if you ever get it. If you treat your wealth and your wealth building and you as the most important person in your budget, you will be the most important person in your future, and you will be successful. It's that simple. Pay yourself first.